excited about what's about to happen with the acquisition of the Falea project in southwest Mali. The history of it was held by Denison. Denison decided to leave Africa. They flipped a bundle of properties over to GoviEx, uranium, and in that bundle was Falea. GoviEx made the right decision. They had two advanced projects, one in Niger and one in Zambia, which they are chasing through probably to be mines. So unfortunately, Falea became an orphan, and it sat there pretty dormant for almost 7 years. They approached us. We have a lot of Africa experience, mostly focused on the Congo. We are not afraid of operating in any area of Africa. We paid for our education. We know how to get things down there. We know how to execute on plans. We were very interested as a junior mining company because it's very seldom that we get offered a project that's had over $100 million spent, over 235,000 meters of drilling, comes with a 43101 uranium resource over 30 million pounds, copper over 60 million pounds, and about 20 million ounces of silver. So it's a polymetallic project. The analyst reports put a value on the project of about average 48 million. Our market cap was 6 million. There's a lot of space between 6 and 48. So we jumped on the project, and we intend to close it on March 15th of this year. For us, it's transformative. It's a major change for us. So the math was simple. It's 225 square kilometers. 5%'s been touched. It's not deep. The grades are good, and we are working with GoviEx. Although it's structured, if you look at the legal documents, it's a share purchase agreement. We're acquiring 100% of the interest in the three permits. In reality, it's a partnership with GoviEx. There's a little bit of cash and primarily shares going to GoviEx for the acquisition. And we're paying, I think we've estimated around 18 cents a pound. So that's a pretty good, compelling purchase price. Because GoviEx is going to end up with 20 to 25% of our company, I call them partners, which means I can lean on the GoviEx, the team we inherit, the on-ground team in Mali, so there's no learning curve there. We have access to their technical people. Daniel Major, who is the CEO and a mining engineer of GoviEx, is going to come onto our board of directors, which will give us some great insight into the project and where we should be going with it, and oversight for GoviEx. I would like to mention that the structure that we're using with GoviEx is very similar to the Denison structure. When they did the project with GoviEx, they have retained seats on the board of GoviEx and a large share position. So we got some pretty good people as partners on this project. GoviEx, of course, is for Govan Friedland. So we have some muscle, should we need it in country behind us, to deal with the project. The program upcoming, we expect to close on March 15th, and I'll get to the financing in a second. The program that has been designed by Jerome Randable, who's the chief geologist for GoviEx. And it's a follow-up on the program, the only work program that they actually did on the project, which was in 2022. And if you want to see a very good summary, then I would suggest you look up Dave Talbot's report of October of 2022. It gives a very good summary of the work that's been completed. We're excited about it because GoviEx did things correctly. They did geophysics. And so now we're starting to see a correlation between the anomalies and the copper. And the copper, the uranium primarily runs with the copper. So now our drilling is going to be extremely targeted, therefore should be much more successful. We're starting off with a program, basically going back and proving the thesis of what they developed on the last work program. And assuming that that is correct, which we believe it is, then we'll immediately get into expansion drilling of resources. It's a big project. It could be very exciting. One of the other things I mentioned, there's 3 permits. There's Felia, Bala, and Madini. Madini has some very, very good gold showings to a point where we are in discussions with a couple of larger gold companies and potentially joint venturing that aspect of the operation. On the financing side, we've announced a $500,000 non-brokered private placement, 8-cent unit, half a warrant at 15 for 2 years. And we're looking at a broker private placement for $2 million, which is a condition under the purchase agreement. And we are in discussion with 2 investment banks on that. We have over 30% of the $2 million already committed as a minimum, so we're in a good place. We'll be going through the difficult pricing discussion probably later this week and finalize the price, and we'll announce who is going to be the investment banker on this deal. We have some other alternatives, but I think it's in our best interest to try to get a couple of houses behind us in our story and our stock. We happen to have 2 investment banks in Toronto that have a probably better understanding of the Felia project than I do at this point in time. And so I think it behooves us to work with the local experts. The TSX has given a conditional approval. We're pretty much already satisfied all of those requirements, such as updating the tech report, usual title opinions, and other work. So I don't see any impediments to getting this closed. The next thing we'll be doing the financing, get that announced, and probably close next week during PDAC. That's our expectation. So we're excited. I agreed, if you saw Dave's keynote opening address this morning, I think it's going to be a really good time in the uranium sector for all the factors that he pointed out. So this is highly opportunistic and highly beneficial for our company. We only have a $6 million cap. The numbers on the project average are $48 million, so there's quite a bit of upside just before we even turn the drill. We think this is going to be a big project. We think it's got real potential. We've got great partners, and we're excited to get back into the uranium space. I ran a JV with Cameco in Argentina back before Fukushima, and I right at the call, David, when Fukushima happened, I knew what was coming. So Cameco, of course, pulled their horns in. And other people involved with our group, Kevin, who unfortunately is not feeling great this morning, he was involved with Stratico from the very beginning in developing the Quebec project. And Guy Hubert from Stratico and 3 or 4 other companies is a good close friend of our company and sits on our advisory board. So we have a lot of expertise that's available to us. So that's basically my spiel. We have projects in the DRC. We have some very, very exciting lithium and tin tantalum projects. We received some assays that were very, very good. So what we've done is we've sent a team out to duplicate, just to make sure that they're accurate. And this is on a 200 square kilometer concession with high-grade artisanal tin production happening. So we're pretty excited about that. We're not saying too much about it until we're 100% confident that everything we want is there. We're African experienced. We're not concerned about Mali. We're in the nice, quiet area of Mali in the southwest. We're close to B2 Gold, IM Gold, and Roscan. So they've been operating there. Our predecessors have been operating there without any kind of interference. In addition, we learned in the Congo, it's important to have someone on the ground all the time who is experienced and understands how the country and the business practices work. We were fortunate that one of our friends actually ran a gold company in Mali, and his country manager was available. Extremely well connected, extremely articulate, very good friends with the mining department. So anything to deal with the mining department, we're in very, very good hands. We got very fortunate. So we don't really have any concerns about being in Africa. It's, as Mr. Friedland, I think, has joyfully pointed out, you're going to have to go there. You don't have a hell of a lot of choice. That's basically it, Dave. Any questions?